Okay, now we are going to use our assets panel, and this time the next step is we're going to create color. So how do you keep color consistent throughout the project? Well, it's the assets panel. That's the solution. This is also very easy, very simple, just like it was with the we're creating those symbols or components. So saving colors in your assets panel is really, it's very, very similar to saving colors in, or saving color as a swatch in the other Adobe docs or the other Adobe apps, right? Like Illustrator, InDesign. And once we've saved color and we've added it to the assets panel and we apply it to a design element, such as our navigation bar or one of our buttons, then anytime we want to change it, we want to change the color, the shade of it, change it to a different color. It is updated. Every instance is updated of those symbols. That's cool, isn't it? So there are several ways to add color. The first one I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom into here real quick, and I could just create a shape. It doesn't matter what size the shape is. And I can come over here to, once I've added the shape, I can go over here to the color. I can click on the fill, and you can see I can add a color to it. Now, one problem with this is once I have my color, I can then come down here to the plus sign and add it right here. But I'm not going to really get, then if I go to another color, maybe I'm going to go into some green, maybe I'll even move down into the yellows. You can see it takes me a long time to get a color theme. And I don't believe it's the best way to do this because you may get colors that do not have contrast, colors that conflict with each other. But this is one method. So I am going to, let's go to my other preferred method, which I believe is gives you a better selection, a cohesive group of colors. And that is, so I've created my color, and let me just backtrack. And if I want to add this to my color, all I do is the same thing we did with components. I'm going to add it to the colors. But now look what happened. I have this color, but where did the gray come from? The gray, if I look over here, this is attention to detail, came from the border. I don't want the border on here. And we can delete that. So I can delete this if I don't want it. So that gives me one color in there. I'm going to delete that too because I don't like, this is it's a drawn out process, and I don't think you get the best color selection. The best way to create a color theme is to use Adobe Color. So you can go to color.adobe.com. I'm going to jump over there really quick. So once you get into Adobe Color, how many of you use Adobe Color? Do you use Adobe Color very often? It's a great resource, fantastic resource. So once I am into Adobe Color, I am going to then come up here at the top and go to Explore. I'm not going to create anything. I want to explore. If I was going to create, I would do it inside of XD. I'm going to Explore. And now from here, I can type in keywords. So if you look at your company overview, so for example, Red Canyon, I believe they talk about premium services. You could type in a color, right? So for example, first choice animal clinic, maybe I type in trustworthy. And now look at all these colors we give. I'm not going to download them. What I want to do is I'm going to choose a color that I like. And you have to be really careful. You don't want to choose colors such as this one right here. There's no contrast with these three colors. We don't have a lot of contrast with this one, for example. There's no contrast here. Really, you only have two colors. So you have to be very careful. There's really not a lot of contrast here. So you want to look for contrasting colors. this one right here would be a good one. If this is what I like, I can then take a screenshot of it. I can just take a screenshot, and then I can go back to my XD file, and I can file and I can place, or not place, but import that file. And then we can, here it is. I can import, and there it is. So now we have this placed in here. And the only reason I'm placing it here is because I'm going to use it to create my color theme. I want these 5 colors. Very simple. I'm going to go back to my square I created. And I'm going to then use, right over here next to the fill is an eyedropper. If I select this eyedropper, all I have to do is come over to here, look at how it changes. And then once I'm over the color, I click on it. And then what do? We highlight this, we add it. Let's go back into our eyedropper, color, select, add. Eyedropper, we go back to color, there it is. We select the box, and then we add that into our color. And then again, we just repeat the process. But remember, you have to select the object that you want the color added in there. And then finally, we're going to do this one last time. Select, add. How cool is that? So now I have my colors. I can get rid of these. I don't need these other elements in here. Let's just kind of zoom out. And now we need to think about adding colors. Let's just start with adding a color to our, let's say, put a color right here. I can just click on that. And what happened there? Let's undo that, Command Z. What happened? Because this is a symbol and I've selected it, that means I'm selecting everything. If I double click on that, there we go. So when I selected it as 1, that means it changed the type. So look at that, that updated. If I wanted to add a color, maybe I want to add this, make this blue. Again, if I select this and then go back into and just say blue, what happens? I lose it, right? So I select it once, and then I'm going to, there you can see if I double click that, that's changing the type. Double click to change, you can see that now I've selected the shape only, and there we go. And that should update all of them. Look at all those instances. And then all we have to do is just do the same to this one. We'll add the color to that one. Whoops, what happened? We weren't paying attention. Double click, there's color, and let's do the same here. That's the text is selected. There is the shape. I definitely don't need a border on here. So there's our color. Where else would we add color in this project? You don't want to just leave this as white because you're not making an effective, you're not effectively or efficiently using your colors that you've just created. Think about this. How can color be used to strengthen repetition? How can it be used to strengthen contrast? Can it be used to help strengthen the focal point? Most definitely it could. We could take and let's just take one of our shapes. And I'm just going to drag a shape right here. And I'm going to apply a color to it. I have the shape selected. I apply a color. I can then arrange this, edit, object. It is an object, and we go to arrange, and we'll send it to the back. That's kind of, it doesn't work very well. It doesn't work very well. Let's edit this. Or could we do something to this effect? Could we maybe create another frame, add that color to it, maybe come into here and change this to be lighter. Maybe this is like a 30%, or maybe it's even a 20% color. And then it's selected and I can add it. Now look, let's just go back into here and we'll change that color. There we go. Oh, much better, isn't it? Then I might think about, okay, you know, maybe I could take, you know, where I could add that color to the rest of these. So if I copy this, we know that we can select an artboard and paste it. And we have to send it to the back, of course. Object, arrange, send to back. I might also think about maybe separating this information off of here if I wanted to, you know, by adding another color below here. So look at this. Maybe this is part of my strategy as well. And let's zoom in. I can work much better if I zoom in. This color is placed over the top of these images, which I do not want. I do not want this stroke on here, attention to detail, which is what we discussed yesterday. I will send this to the back, and look at that. So that kind of breaks off and brings attention to our services. Now we're starting to create a focal point. I could take this same shape. I could copy it. We can highlight this. I can paste it in place. Maybe I'm going to, you know, send this to the, not maybe, I am going to send it to the back. So arrange, send to back. Where else could, you know, could I incorporate that color into here? Almost definitely I could take this. I could, again, copy it. We select, paste. And again, we want it to the back. I don't want it to cover my images here. I could take this same shape again. I could copy it. That's what I love about XD. You copy it and select the artboard and it pastes it in place. And then what about maybe, for example, taking this and, you know, maybe doing our team. But again, I want to send this to the back. So see how I'm using this color throughout the device or throughout each device. Again, we'll just do this really simple. Send it to the back. And then I would, you know, I'd add color to these other ones too. This might just be, this one right here might just be the light yellow color all the way through. Maybe the pet adoption might be kind of isolated like this. This right here would do that. I could do the same. I could add the light yellow and then the newsletter would be isolated. This page right here would be all this color. Very cool. So that's how we're adding color and using our color efficiently to, again, so that we are able to strengthen contrast, repetition, tie everything together. Any questions on color? So I'm going to stop this video and we're going to start a new one.